Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. This is Hot Pursuit.
Coming up on today's podcast, we have the one, the only Alex Manos from Beverly Hills Car Club with us. He shares all of his secrets.
I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to this guy. I care a lot about the Beverly Hills Car Club.
I mean, talk about sort of famous and infamous cars. He is very well known, and sort of like a lot of famous people, surprising amounts of famous people have bought cars from him that I didn't actually realize.
Yeah. Well, and he was kind of a famous person himself, because he grew up in Beverly Hills. He was a model. He was an actor. So
he was in my favorite, I will go on record saying my favorite and best show on TV, Beverly Hills Housewives. Best show. What? Everything else is mid. Everything else is mid.
Don't say that. I had so much respect for you before this minute.
Do not knock it until you watch it. It's a social commentary. And if you watch a lot of the other schleck that we're being fed right now from all the streamers, it is superior. I watch a lot, and I'm telling you, it's quality.
I can't say that I watch. I can't think of any.
It's a social commentary.
TV shows that I watch.
It's sport. It's sport.
Got it.
You can't take it seriously.
All right, so we'll talk to him about all the cars that he has, and I've spent the last couple of days going through his inventory, and I know it like the back of my hand already. I'm headed to Austin after we get off.
Love that.
I'm going to the MotoGP at the Circuit of the Americas. And it's, I think, a really important weekend for me as a Ducati fan, especially as a Marc Marquez fan.
Marquez is racing?
Yes. And he didn't podium last weekend in Brazil. So first of all, the Aprilias are doing better than the Ducatis right now. So Ducatis were dominant for the last few years of MotoGP, like the last 4 years of MotoGP. And this year, for the first year, Ducati just can't keep up with another bike, and it's the Aprilias. And that's exciting to see because, you don't want the same people to win all the time.
Sure.
But I thought, even if the Ducatis aren't as good, since Marc is so much better than all of the other pilots, he could still win on the Ducati versus a better bike. That proved not to be the case last weekend in Brazil. It proved not to be the case on opening weekend. And even another Ducati... kid on another Ducati, Fabio Di Giannantonio, beat Marc in the race on Sunday. So this weekend, it's so important for Marc to prove himself against A, the other people riding the same bike as he is, and then B, because he's the king of Kodo, he has won, 6 or 7 times in Austin. It's important that he wins outright. So it's a really important weekend for us.
I have a question about that. How much can a exceptional pilot make up for a run-of-the-mill bike? I mean, I guess that's the whole question.
Yeah, it is.
You can make
difficult,
up for a little bit.
Marc is an alien. He's possibly the greatest motorcycle racer, certainly in the modern era. So he can do it a lot of times, but not every time. But someone like Fabio Quartararo, who's also incredibly talented, but he's on a horrible bike. He's on the Yamaha. He'll qualify really well, or he'll be in the top 10 sometimes. But he can't turn that Yamaha into a Ducati or an Aprilia.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Oh, that's fascinating. Cool. Well, I hope you have some really good Tex-Mex and barbecue while you're there, and go boot. Oh, you should go boot shopping. Are you going to buy some or get a jacket? Come on, Matt.
No, because
that's part of the fun.
So the best boots for me, the best boots to buy are out of the Pacific Northwest. So I'm looking for Westco or Knicks or Whites, or maybe something Japanese.
You should check out some Tacova. You got to get some Texas boots, Matt. Come on.
It's not really my thing.
Luke Casey, get in there.
No, I don't. I mean, I'll look. But I don't really have time.
Doesn't cost anything to try them on.
Not enough time.
Make time. You got to make time.
I'm going to be at the track. Ducati is going to unveil
eat.
a new bike In fact, I think because we're recording this on Wednesday, but it's not going to go out till Friday. I can say that on Thursday night, Ducati will reveal the new Superleggera, so their new like pinnacle super bike, and it's going to be like a $200,000 motorcycle. So.
What?
It's a pretty serious piece of kit.
Why?
I think there's going to be two versions of it. Obviously, the news isn't out yet, so I'm just...
Is it made out of gold?
On speculation. I think one of them is going to be 160, and then there's going to be the special edition that's like 220.
Why? Honestly, why? Where's that price coming from?
Well, it's going to be all titanium. You know?
Titanium, you could cut that whole thing out of a block of titanium and it wouldn't cost that much.
What? Things are getting more and more expensive.
What? Oh my gosh. 2 wheels and some crowbars.
Just wait. You're going to be like, okay, you might not get that price, but you're going to understand. I mean, in the past, Superleggeras have gone for, $100,000 or more. So, but this will be the first time they've cost.
Okay, wait. Much. Last question on this. Are these limited? Are they making like 3 of them? So that's part of the appeal?
They're definitely limited. I don't know.
And are they fit to size for the person buying them so they're like a bespoke?
I wish.
They're not even bespoke to your exact measurements like a suit?
I mean, that would be very difficult to do. Someone like me who doesn't fit on
You actually would be a very good candidate for a bespoke.
I would love a bespoke
Can you imagine how much better that'd feel?
By the way, that's why I really need to go to Beverly Hills Car Club. Like, I want to sit in a Ferrari 308 and see if my legs pass.
I honestly think so many times, and for myself, this has happened a lot, where you kind of get obsessed with how a car looks, and then you, even just sitting in it, let alone driving it, you realize, oh no, I don't like how this fits me. And sometimes it just has to do with the seats. Maybe they're overstuffed. Maybe they need to be moved or adjusted or taken out or replaced. You can do some things with seats, but some things you can't change.
Apparently, Magnum PI, Tom Selleck, famously,
I've heard of him. I've seen the stash.
Famously had a 308 in the show, and he's too tall for it. So they had to take padding out of the seat. And they had to move the tracks, under the seat back. Yeah. I've always loved like that, the Mercedes, the AMG GTs that, they stopped making a couple of years ago, in between the new GT and the original SLS. But every time I see one in real life and I get in it, I realize I don't fit very well. Yeah. And then I forget about it for a few months, and then I start to see them more and more. And then I'm thinking, wait, maybe I could fit. Maybe I could fit now, even though my legs aren't changing.
Well, yeah, I know.
What do you got going on?
You know what? I think this, Magnus has his sale and it's closing today.
Oh my
Wednesday.
goodness.
So I think honestly this weekend I'm going to be helping ship things out, maybe. Lend a hand. Obviously, there's a whole team that will be shipping things out, but I'll probably be there for moral support, and maybe I'll tape a box or something.
Well, the cars, I guess some of the cars are going to get shipped. I hope some of the bidders are like, dude, I'm coming to LA to pick that up.
Oh, I'll report back on that. I mean, it's all very exciting, but yeah, I think this weekend is going to be like getting rid of cars
and stuff. Exciting. There's a lot of parts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of parts in there.
You know what?
There's like a Fender collection.
Yeah, I know. The crazy thing is, I don't even know if it's. I guess it'll make a dent, but I don't even know. This is less than half of the stuff he has.
I can tell.
It's nuts.
You can tell when you look at the lot that you're like, it clearly pains him to get rid of this. But who's bidding on 8 Porsche 911 Fenders? Like, who's bidding on?
Actually, a lot of people who have shops, a lot of people who have Porsche shops.
Okay.
That's actually because you want the original parts. If you want original parts, that's the beauty of older Porsches. All the parts are interchangeable. So at least in Southern California, there are lots of shops, restoration shops and mechanical garages that want those parts. They're not making them new,
Yeah.
So there is a market for it. It's kind of surprising, but there is a market for it.
Are you driving any new cars?
Actually, today I'm getting a Polestar, which I'm very...
My heart sunk when you said that.
Oh, I'm actually excited because I haven't had one for quite a while. It's the V60. Oh, wait a second. Yeah.
No, that's a Volvo.
Well, you know what? Sorry. So I'm just looking at this. They're calling it a Volvo V60 Polestar engineered car. They haven't dropped it off yet. I'm supposed to get it later today. So this is really interesting. I'm looking at the exact wording in the document that they sent me. This is interesting. I will report back about this because, yes, you're right. It's a Volvo V60, but they're calling it Polestar engineered. I'm not sure what that means yet.
My heart leapt. My heart leaps now.
Wait, about the Volvo part.
Yes, because Polestar, I expected so much from them after the Polestar 1.
I know. They were good. They were honestly...
It's such a cool car. I mean, the Polestar 1 is one of those vehicles where I drive it around and people... like BMW kids at a stoplight will be like, hey, man, what's that car?
Yeah.
Or they'll know already. They'll be like, that has adjustable Olin suspension,
They did good.
But that's the only one that's good.
I know.
And then, I mean, the other ones are okay, but they're not special. The Polestar 1 is special. Now you say V60, that makes me feel better because it's like, I'm so happy that Volvo is still making wagons. And this is a beautiful looking wagon.
Yeah. I know.
It's not an SUV. I love it. And I'm not an SUV hater, but I just love these low. And by the way, I have been driving the Cadillac Lyriq V. And
yes.
So
thoughts?
It's kind of a mixed thing. Like, it's a great car. It's so solid. It's so well made. You can tell. It's a wagon, which I love. It's low to the ground.
You're calling that a wagon?
The Lyriq? Yeah, it's an absolute wagon.
What?
Yes. And it's got like a great hatchback. And you don't see a station wagon?
I'm not getting wagon vibes. I'm getting SUV. I'm getting mid-size SUV vibes.
No. The Lyriq is definitely a station wagon.
What?
All right. Anyway.
Okay.
So
readers, feel free to weigh in and tell us what you think.
That's
hot pursuit at Bloomberg.net. I'm not getting wagon, but this is like a mid-size SUV.
Are you looking at the same picture that I'm looking at?
I'm wondering. We are not seeing the same thing.
No,
here.
It is definitely like you need to be near one. And I love the design. Like, and there's so many really cool Easter eggs. Like, the lights are like, you can tell that they put a lot of money into it. And
I do like the lights. It's pretty. It is pretty.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. It's a V. It's supposed to be a V. And to someone like me, when I drove the original CTSV wagon, or it was actually the V2, that was a supercharged V8 with a stick in a station. Like, the whole point of the V badge was to take on the M5 or the AMG E63. It's had to be like a muscle car in a luxury sedan is the idea. And this thing, A, it's all electric, and B, it just doesn't have the kick. Like, you have to dig deep with the accelerator to get it going. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I don't know what's happened to this whole, the V, I guess it started dying in like the fourth generation when the CT-SV became a CT4V and a CT5V, and they put a V6 in it. And the first couple of those they didn't have even a manual transmission, and now you have to have a V Blackwing to make it like what it's supposed to be.
How is this a 15 horsepower vehicle?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem like that much for an electric car. Am I wrong about that? I feel like
I just think you don't feel it the same way.
For an electric car, if it's going to be like a V, it should be 800
To me,
horsepower.
the number doesn't matter with EVs because it's all about
true,
the
but that's why I feel like the inflation. If it's an electric car, I feel like it should have massive numbers that I don't believe, like the GMC
because
Hummer.
at that point they're completely hypothetical, like 1,000 horsepower. To me, I mean, it's going to feel the same as something with 600 because it's just you're accelerating in a
It's also supposed to be an electric car. I want to feel like a Tesla Plaid or a Porsche Taycan Turbo S or even like a Kia EV6 GT. Like, that thing makes me a little bit sick. It's so fast. Like, it hurts my stomach when I put the accelerator down. This wasn't the experience. I know that they're going for an older audience, more of a staid, like a luxury customer, but I don't think they should call it a V.
Okay.
Rant over.
Rant. We'll be right back after this. we're back with Alex Manos from the Beverly Hills Car Club, our favorite non-car club not in Beverly Hills.
I'm pumped. I've been following you guys for many, many years. And in fact, for a long time, I thought you were a car club, like the classic car club, we have here in Manhattan. So I didn't realize you were a dealer until I started reading about you in the Hollywood Reporter and LA Times. And really, Hannah told me. But you guys have a ton of cars. I've been looking through your inventory and it's just like page after page after page. How many do you have?
We have on the website right now, we have 485, but we have 650 cars on the ground.
Wow. I'm sure Hannah will have her own questions, but I've got a whole huge list here. But
great.
When I was looking through, I'm wondering, is there one model that you have more of than any other? Because you have a lot of 911s, and I would imagine, I didn't stop in the Ford area, but I imagine you have a lot of Mustangs. Are those the two models that you have the most of normally?
We try and keep a minimum of 100 Porsche in stock at all times.
100? But I guess that's across 911, 914, 928.
Exactly. Just in general, just Porsche in general, the brand, we try and keep a minimum of 100. So 356s, 912s, 928s, everything.
That's so cool. You have a lot of stuff that seems not mainstream. Like, I think the Hollywood Reporter story was like, you just have the, basic plain vanilla, but it's not true. You have, some crazy cars and brands that I wouldn't think are big sellers. A lot of Austin Healey's, a lot of Alfa Romeos. By the way, Jeremy Clarkson famously said, you're not a true gearhead unless you've owned an Alfa Romeo. Have you owned an Alfa Romeo?
Yes. Oh yeah. Many.
Well, what do you think? Who's coming in and buying those? In Hollywood, I would expect a more, no offense, like a vapid crowd that only wants the names we all know. Like, who's coming in and buying an Alfa?
It's just, it could be nobody to somebody. But if you see like a Giulietta or a Giulia driving around and it's restored, it's like a piece of art. They look sensational. I was thinking about it yesterday because I was looking at our Alphas on the website and I was thinking, I just don't know if the younger people understand how beautiful they are. Literally, I was looking for some photos through the Alpha section that I have saved, and they're like, all classic cars are like a work of art, but Alphas in particular, their design is sensational.
Alex, how do you, without giving away too much of your trade secrets and your fishing holes, how are you sourcing these cars? Are a lot of them coming to you? Or do you have a team that goes out and hunts and searches for things?
All of the above. So we look for cars, we search the internet, people contact us. We bought your car, so you recommend us to your neighbor. The classic car community is so connected and put together that if you have a Ford Mustang, a fastback or a convertible, you probably know somebody who does. Mm-hmm. Or if you have an Alfa, you probably know some. Yeah, it's a small world. So if you have a good experience dealing with someone, whether it's a mechanic or ordering parts or selling your car or buying a car, usually everybody shares who they are. Hey, I got this great guy, you should use him. Or I got this great person to get parts from. So when we buy a car, we make it efficient. We pay the same day. We pick it up. It's a smooth transaction. And so when things are professional and efficient, people, refer people and come back. Word of mouth is huge in any business.
Mm-hmm. I'm so curious because, of course, in the press, people read about you helping people who are famous, celebrities, Hollywood types. I'm curious if a famous or Hollywood buyer is different than just your average Joe. When someone who's famous comes in and they want a car, is it a different experience for you versus just meeting the demand of like someone like Matt and me?
And well, Matt and you and myself, and every celebrity, we're all humans and normal people. The only time it's different is when they call us and they say, "Hey, we're sending our security first to check out the area, and then the person is going to come." That's the only time that it's different. Otherwise, most people that are down to earth and cool. They just show up and you're like, oh my God, look, there's so-and-so.
By the way, is it because you're in LA that there's so many famous people, or is it because of the cars that you have, or is it because you also, I saw that, you were a model and you were in class with like Jason Momoa. So you're, I guess, already in that world before you started
Beverly
dealing
Hills
cars.
High. Didn't you go to Beverly Hills High? I mean,
Yes,
that's rare
I did.
air. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's a combination of it all. The classic cars are such a centerpiece of entertainment, luxury, style, art. They bring people together. And sometimes musicians or cool people are gravitated towards them, and we have them, and there's a lot of them, and it kind of brings everybody to Beverly Hills Car Club.
So I want to go back in history because I know a little bit about your history. You were a model. I think I saw that your mom is your business partner on this. I don't know if she is still, but initially she was. And,
Yes.
And there's a long story about you with a Lincoln Continental, a 61 Lincoln Continental. But can you tell us before that, when you were really young, were you a car kid? Were you chasing cars when you were like 10, 11, 12? And then how did that bleed into the Lincoln and then going into business with your mom, who sounds very cool?
So I've been fascinated with cars my whole life. My mom and dad were in the music business in London, and they both had, it was in the 80s. They both had, my dad had a Volvo Amazon, and my mom had a 1967 Volvo P1800S. And so
Cool.
they were like,
Is that the same car? Yes.
Yes. So they had matching Volvos, which was amazing. And my dad was a music journalist. And so I remember being a kid, being taken to school, singing The Clash on the way to class, like every day almost. And they ended up, they're actually family friends. So it was just like, that just like when you're in a classic car and there's music and you're having fun, it brings out the joy in at least in me, and I think a lot of people. So that was at a really early age that brought me to cars. Then I was just telling this story the other night, actually. And then my auntie, who lives in Australia, she had a 1967 Ford Mustang coupe. And
wow.
When she picked us up at the airport in Australia in a Mustang, okay, and she had a Dalmatian named Zodiac, okay, and that dog would sit in the back seat and put his head out the window. If she would take me down to the beach, you would just felt so cool. Iconic. Classic cars, there's just something about them that you can't understand unless you experience them. And this was really young. This was very, very young. And then we came to America. And I always wanted to have a classic car, but I didn't know if it's a task. Owning a classic car is more than just owning a classic car. It's an experience.
It's sometimes a relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you might be on your way, getting in the car, you're going to go from A to B, and it ends up being, a long way of getting there. But you'll still get there, but it might be a long extended route. Uh-huh. And so I found this Lincoln. It was 1962. It was a Lincoln Continental, and it was a sedan. And I bought it from the Lincoln Mercury service manager in Marina Del Rey. And so the car mechanically was flawless. So it was a great car to start with. It needed cosmetic work, but it was a great car to start with. And it was black with parchment interior. And of course, it had the suicide doors. And I would just drive that car around. It was so fun. And I mean, if you're ever in a bad mood, you get in that car, you just go around the block and you're cured. I mean, it's a therapy session, I sit, turn on the key.
Yes.
But in my mind, you kind of made it in America if you had a convertible. And so this was a hard top. That's all I could afford. And so, but everybody wanted
British
to buy this
mentality.
car.
Yes.
Right. And everybody wanted to buy this car. They were like, and everywhere I went, I was like, how could I sell, my holy grail of happiness? And then one day I finally did. I said, hey, I'm going to take the leap. And I sold the car and I bought a convertible, and maybe one of the most inexpensive ones I could find that needed everything. And then I spent a year restoring it, learning how to, what to do, where to go, where to get the best prices, doing it on a budget. I've had the car. I didn't do the mechanic work myself, but my friend who became my friend was my mechanic at the time. And so we did the last piece of the puzzle on this car, and I'm taking it now for a victory lap down Sunset Boulevard. And this is a 1961, and it's a convertible. And the top's down, and it's black on black on black, triple black.
Wow.
And we pull up to Crescent Heights and Sunset, and a guy pulls up next to us in an Escalade. It's 2002. No, there's no such thing as Uber. Nobody has drivers, okay? I mean, people do, but it's very unusual. And this guy's sitting in the back, and the window comes down, and he says, "How much?" And I start dying of laughter inside. I couldn't believe it. And I said, I just threw out a price. I said, $55,000. And he says, "No, not what year is it? How much do you want for it?" And I was like, "Well, I said 55,000. And he goes, "Pull over." So I literally pull over in front of the Chateau Marmont, and we sit there for, I don't know how long, maybe even 2 hours, talking about the car and its history and classic cars, etc. And next day I go to his house and he cuts me a check.
Wow. Who was this guy? Who's the guy?
This is guy Sam Nazarian.
Oh, that's a name. I recognize that name.
He's an entrepreneur.
That's amazing. And so from there, is that when the light bulb clicked and you just kind of realized, wait a second, people want to buy old cars? I mean, how did you go from there to now having 650 cars on and never fewer than 100 Porsches at your dealership?
It's been such a journey. It's been so much hard work and effort and diligence. I mean, I still work now 7 days a week.
You seem like a worker.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's just, we came here with nothing and we work hard, and that's just kind of the journey that I've been on. And I love what I do, and it's a lot of work, but that, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's like when you love what you do, it doesn't feel, for me, the weeks go by like days. Mm-hmm. The months go by like weeks. Mm-hmm. I mean, every time I blink, it's a new month. Mm-hmm. We do a staff meeting every month at the beginning of each month. And it's like, I feel like it was yesterday. I mean, there's going to be another one in like a week or so. I mean, it just goes so fast because it's so exciting. We get new cars coming in every day and buying new cars and looking at them and what are we going to find? It's exciting.
By the way,
thrilling.
Alex, do you still love cars? Because I remember, well, it's happened to me a lot where I've been hanging out in a Ducati dealership, and I'm a massive fan of the brand. And I always tell the owner, like, you're so lucky, and they always say, look, if you love Ducatis now, don't ever buy a dealership. Because when you buy a dealership, you're not going to have that love affair anymore. Do you still get super pumped if you get a car in inventory that you've been dreaming about, or if you get to drive one that's special?
So I would say to the Ducati line, I would say the guy who owns the Ducati store. And which store did you go to the one in LA? Are you in LA?
No, I'm in New York. So I would go to Rockwell's all the time. I like Hudson Valley Motorcycles. I sometimes go to the one down here in Soho, but they all say the same thing. They're like, yo, you're an enthusiast and you're in love with the brand, but if you own the dealership, it would kill all of that.
I would say my comeback to that would be maybe they're able to order, and I'm sure they sell both new and used, but I'm sure they order new bikes. Yeah. Meaning, they hit a button on their computer and they say, I'll have 6 of those or 5 of those. This is such a hunt. This is like, I just can't explain it to you. Yesterday, we found a 1964 Ferrari 330 GT 2+2.
Nice. Had
the same owner since I think it was the 70s or very late 60s. He had a 250 SL Mercedes and a 1967 Fiat Dino coupe. And nice. I mean, yes. And I get just as excited yesterday as I am sharing it with you today. And I would have the day before thinking that would even happen. So it definitely hasn't killed the excitement for me. And if it did, I would probably have to slow down on the amount of work that I do.
So for you, it's just because it's always the chase. And that's every car lover knows that, and motorcycle lover for that matter as well, that the chase is like the most exciting part. A lot of times after I buy a bike, it's not as much fun as the year that I spent researching it and looking for it. And so you have that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what keeps us going, right? That's what keeps me going. Is that chase? I bought on Saturday. I bought a 1953 Aston Martin DB2 Vantage, and I've been talking to this gentleman.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
Sorry. Matt's been talking about Aston Martins, and we both have. So sorry, keep going because we want to hear this.
Yeah, no. So I've been talking to this gentleman since 2014. It's 2026.
About the same car?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
So
what's the
so when you
holdup?
talk about the, yeah, no. I mean, like with me with the Lincoln. You know, my first Lincoln, I had a million offers. I didn't want to let it go. It's like these cars bring. You know, there's a emotional connection and joy and happiness, and sometimes it's not always about the money, you know.
Yeah.
And it could be a $5,000 car or a $50,000 car. We sell both. You know, we sell cars for $5,000 and we sell cars for $150,000. It isn't about the price of the car. You know, they both bring so much joy. And they have their own quirks and, you know, issues along the way. But like I said earlier, I mean, classic cars are an experience. If you need to get to the doctors, if you're having a baby, I would recommend, you know, maybe you go get a Toyota Prius. I wouldn't say, you know, let's try,
Don't take
a
Fiat.
Right. And you might make it, and it actually makes for a cooler story, but you need to be willing to go with the flow.
I bet sometimes you feel like you're playing therapist a little bit because people put so much emotion and onto the car, right? I'm assuming you see that quite a bit.
I've had men and women, I'm over 50 of them on my shoulder when I'm at their house, and we're hugging and they're crying on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I get it. And I'm ready to cry with them, and even I'm buying the car just because I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been their dad's car, or there could have been their mom's car, or their mom or dad had one, or my auntie, for example, had one. So you bought one to emulate that experience, and then life, you know, takes turns. Maybe you're moving to another country, or, you know, maybe whatever it is. So you go through an array of emotions.
I want to ask you how the market is doing now compared to 10 years ago. There's so much happening in new cars in terms of tariffs and economic volatility and just crazy stuff happening. How do you see that affecting your business? And part two of this question, how has the rise of online sales affected what you guys do too? Do you see any effect there?
So I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to gladly answer that question. What do you see? What do you feel the difference is between today and 10 years ago? Well, how do you see the difference from your perspective?
Every leader of a new automaker brand, and Matt, you can chime in here. First of all, they say it's, of course, very challenging, but the challenging thing for them is that the target keeps changing, that they feel there's no consistency. It's all talk about emissions, EVs, and where we're going with autonomous driving. So on the new side of things, people are saying we have to move forward, we have to be progressive, but we don't have a stable, solid target. And so that makes it really challenging. And then there's another contingent that splits into two different groups. One, the people that love the V12 stick shift engines, who always will and want more of them and will buy them instantly. And you have the automakers like, for instance, Aston Martin, who makes the Velour, and that car has both of those things. And then the second thing is just how important the rise of bespoke, customizable, making the car reflect your own personality and identity. That is a huge trend. Everybody's talking about it. And in terms of the new automakers, everybody wants to capitalize on being able to make cars very customizable. Matt?
Well, I mean, I talk to mostly new car manufacturers on my show, and I think from them I hear this business is just getting more and more difficult. The regulations, the hoops they have to jump through, the moving target of tariffs, globalization and the reversal of that, it just makes it more difficult for them to make good product at a good price, and things are getting so much more expensive. I imagine it drives customers to you more than anything else, Alex, because people want the good old days of a gas-powered analog driving experience. B, you probably don't have to deal with tariffs as much, right? I don't imagine you're getting cars a lot from around the world compared to what you get in the U.S. And then C, I'd be interested to hear what the regulatory side is like for you, but I hope it's not too difficult.
So the difference is, I would say that I would say we're in a great place that right now, because we have customers who are buying cars from the 50s, the 60s, 40s, 30s, the old classic cars. But we have a new group of people now that have come out of nowhere, really, buying stuff 2000 forward.
Are these younger people? By younger, I mean like 40 and under.
Yeah, I don't the age. I don't know exactly the age range, but new. But yeah, there's just a new community of people that have come out of nowhere that are buying a 2010 Porsche that's a manual transmission that they wouldn't have maybe chased or sought after so much before. So I don't know what year it was, but they came out with a digital watch years ago. It probably was in the 80s or something. You
mean Porsche designed it? Porsche?
Okay. Okay. Is that right?
Or who did? I'm saying who.
No. Just in general. They came out with it. They came out with a digital watch.
It was Casio.
Years ago, and
it was Casio, by the way.
Oh, you're saying the first digital watch? Got it.
So they came out with this digital watch. Whenever that was, 70s, 80s, and I've heard about and talked about this before, that the world's over. Rolex, all these companies, they're going to go out of business. Who's going to want a watch that, one, you have to wind and it ticks. This is digital. Oh my God. Well, the watch hasn't gone away. And so classic cars, there's so much emotion behind them. I'm willing and happy to drive a Tesla. If you said, hey, here's a Tesla, I'm going to sponsor you, here, take it and have it for the month. Great. My friend, I was just hanging out with my friend on Saturday. He said, I got to your house. I jumped in my car, I put in your address. I talked to ChatGPT on the computer. I had a conversation with the robot on the way to your house. I didn't even drive. The way he explained it was crazy. So I'd be willing to try it. However, where's the emotion? Where's the power? Where's the smell? A friend of mine visited me that I went to high school with. He came to the dealership. He opened the door of a Porsche 964. He almost fainted. He goes, I can't believe it. He almost fainted. I can't believe that smell. It's the same smell from the 90s. The smell on these cars is the same it was back then.
Yes.
How are you getting that in a Tesla? How are you getting that in any of these cars? There's no emotion. There's no feeling. There's nothing there. Yeah, sure. If you again, I have a housekeeper. She cleans my house. Amazing. I see her. I give her a hug. We have a great relationship. Would I hire a robot to do her job? I don't know. Probably not. I have a great thing. I have a love for her. Human.
It's human. There's human connection.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's which you just can't get. And so newer cars are losing that connection. Yes, they do the job, but where's the fun?
By the way, Alex is saying he would be willing to drive a Tesla for a month if you paid him enough. That's what he said.
That's the baseline here.
You said if they sponsored me, I'd drive it for a month. But no, you're totally right, dude. One of my uncles, when I was a kid, had a convertible Bug, and I will never forget, the leather and the stick shift and everything had this smell. And it was I don't think it was a pungent, a strong scent, but it was just a smell that I'll never forget. And to this day, I'm hunting for that smell. It's so funny in a car that I'm hunting for a smell, but it's totally true. On that note, I'm going through all of these cars, and a lot of them have, especially the Alphas, some real patina, is, I guess, a good way to put it. How much roadworthiness do you want in a car before you sell it? Or will you sell like a project car that won't even drive? Like, do you have different levels?
We do everything under the sun. So we can sell could be a $5,000 car, could be a $2 million Ferrari.
But you don't say like this thing has to be able to drive and turn signals have to work, like anything.
So we could be selling a car that doesn't have an engine.
Do you do like, because from the bios that I've read about you or the stories that I've read about you, it seems like at first you were restoring cars and then selling them. And now, do you still do that at Beverly Hills Car Club? Do you get a car and you say, okay, I want to make sure this thing runs because I'm going to get a better price for it, or do you sell it as is?
So a lot of the cars we sell as is. Some cars I'll do a full restoration on myself that we might not sell, that I might hold on to. And yes, if a car needs something, we'll address it. Of course, we make sure everything is roadworthy, and we do a nice 20-point inspection before it leaves and make sure everything is up to snuff. And each car is different, though. If a car doesn't have an engine, obviously we're not going to do that. If a car is a complete project and doesn't run, then it's going to be sold as is. It just depends on the vehicle and what your expectations are too. So it depends on the customer and the car. Everything, of course, is sold.
But this is interesting. What I took from that is one little piece. You have a stash. So if sometimes when you're out buying a car, you'll be like, oh no, this one's not getting sold. Like, I'm keeping this. Do you have a garage of your own that you've found throughout the years that you've been building up a collection that you're sitting on?
Yes. Unfortunately, there's been many cars that I've sold that I regret selling, but you can't keep them all. And that's kind of the fun of the business too. Like you said, sometimes the chase, you chase this car, this Aston Martin I chased for 12 years. It hasn't arrived yet, but it was such a chase, and it's going to be sold. So I've put together a collection of cars. Yes.
I see. Because I was looking for it. Cause I only see one DBS on your site right now. It's the white left-hand drive. By the way, you denote left-hand drive and right-hand drive. Do people actually want to buy a right-hand drive car? I would have thought that's something that. Okay, we talked to Dave Lee last month. He bought a left-hand drive GTO.
He bought an expensive right-hand.
But I thought I figured most people would shy away from that. Do you have people coming in there like, oh, okay, right-hand drive, I'll take it?
So it depends. We sell globally.
Yeah.
So if they're in Australia or in England, they're going to want a right-hand drive. Some people in America, I mean, how much cooler can you be to pull up at the traffic light in a Ferrari on the other side of you're already in, I mean, speaking of that GTO, he's already in the craziest car, $38 million Ferrari. And now you're on the other side of the road, on the steering wheel, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw he's taking that to Pebble Beach too. So good for him.
Is he?
Yeah. He put on his Instagram, he got in. So he's going there.
Oh wow.
The car.
Yeah. So I think, right. Not everybody wants a right-hand drive car, but
maybe you get a bit of a deal.
That too, depending on the car. And I guess if someone, for example, is buying a pink Cadillac, let's just say they're buying a 59, Cadillac Eldorado Barrett's convertible, and it was a right-hand drive, they would make the right-hand drive, but it was a right-hand drive too. I mean, it's just like, oh my God.
It adds.
The car's Persian sand. It's a 59 Cadillac. It's an Eldorado Barrett's, and it's a right-hand drive. I mean, it just adds to the whole thing.
All right, more with Alex Manos from the Beverly Hills Car Club on the other side of this break. This is Hot Pursuit on Bloomberg. We are back with Alex Manos from the Beverly Hills Car Club.
How are you seeing the demand for restoration projects in light of the fact that now we're dealing with tariffs again? And are people buying cars from you and then deciding they may want to have them restored in a cheaper country like Poland or Hungary, some of these countries that may be a bit less expensive to bring the car back?
That's been happening for years. That's been happening for
so that
ever.
You see that not changing necessarily. I keep thinking maybe that is going to actually increase just with everything else that's going on right now.
The classic car community is you don't need, you don't have to have a 57 T-Bird. You don't have to have it.
This is not a non-essential.
Right. So, it is essential. If it feels as essential,
sure.
But so I feel that some people might buy the car today. They might think like I did with that Lincoln, and you do a little bit at a time. You can do this when you can afford this, or you can change the bumper at that point, or, if you buy a non-running car, now you get it running. If that's what you want to do, you get it running first. Maybe some people are able to, do some work themselves. Maybe their neighbors can help them with the interior. It all seems to figure itself out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If you're that person, if you're that woman or man or woman that wants a Camargue, like you said earlier.
Yes, I am that person.
Right. And how absolutely fantastic and cool is that? A Rolls-Royce Camargue, it's just what a fantastic car. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to figure out how to get it on the road. You're going to figure out how to find one. Then you're going to figure out how to pay for it. And then you're going to figure out how to if it isn't running, get it running. This one we have isn't running. So you're going to figure out how to get it running. And, then you're going to be driving to work, and you're going to be, oh my God, your friend jumps in the car and that needs new seats. And now you're going to do the seat, it's
a very slippery slope. Yes.
It's fun. It's a slippery slope, but it's fun along the way.
Yes. I've been in the back lot of Beverly Hills Car Club, and it always seems to be swarming with guys working out there. How many people do you have working under your umbrella, and how many specifically are in the back lot, like repairing cars, restoring cars, that sort of thing?
We have about 60 employees.
Oh.
And we have, like I said earlier, we have 650 cars here. So just moving one car from inside the dealership, inside one of the showrooms to bring it outside for a customer, it's a task.
Yes, I've seen that.
It's
a whole operation.
So, that can take 10 people on its own to get a car outside. No, really. Because, we're pushing the cars out. You got to move cars out to get one out. And, of course, the person that comes in, 1 minute before we close, wants the one that sticks back in the corner.
Back. It's like Tetris in a way.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it takes an army. It does take an army.
How do you find a good army? Especially when you have to have people who can work on everything from a pre-war Bentley to like a computerized Ferrari, British cars, Italian cars, American cars. Do you find enough talent? Is that a tough part of the business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say that heart and determination and drive goes a long way. And a lot of people are interested in classic cars. And so if you can help teach people and show them what to do along the way, because they just want to be around the cars themselves. And it just kind of, that it makes it, if you want something, to learn how to do it or to be a part of it, you're going to do the best you can to be in that situation, whatever it is.
So you have to find somebody with drive, basically.
Yeah, you guys have a super successful show, and we're here right now talking, and you know what I'm saying? You didn't just show up here. You didn't just appear here. You got up in the this was a journey to get to this place where you guys are now. Got people setting up the sound, and but you guys had a passion for it and a drive, and it got you to this point here. Even with I have guys that were washing cars for me that are now salesmen. I got guys that are washing cars for me that are photographers. I've got we always try and hire within.
Alex, how transparent are you in this business? Like I see all the time, people selling 997s, but they don't do any bore scoping, and that any buyer wants to know. Or if you have like a 308, I want to know how recently the belts were changed. I see, by the way, you have a pretty gorgeous 83 308 GTS Quattro valve.
So this is a bit of a personal question.
Well, no, I'm as an example, right? I'm looking at this car. It looks beautiful, and it's only $70,000. Like if I come to you and I say, Alex, like if I buy this car, can I take it off the lot and like daily it, or do I need to put another $50,000 into it, or how transparent can you be with the buyer?
So we try and we're very diligent in getting all the history and service records before we've owned the cars. So we share them on the website also to show the history of what's happened with the car. So for example, if it just had an engine out service, and it happens frequently, people that sell cars to us, they want to make sure the car is ready to be sold. So they'll have the car gone through and we buy the car and then we share all the information that we have on the car.
So this,
we
1983 Ferrari 308, what do you think? Would I be okay taking that? If I want to come over there and buy it, can I drive it back to New York?
Are you single?
No.
Yeah, not a good idea then.
His wife's pregnant at the moment.
with our third kid. By the way, I wanted to ask about Rolls Royces. First of all, the Hollywood
my
Reporter,
favorite topic.
The Hollywood Reporter says how did they put it? I'm going to look it up here. They say the Camargue, an angular, oft derided formal coupe.
That was my buddy Brett Burke who wrote that article.
With an odd duck.
I take issue.
With an odd duck cult following. That's weird. So you sold this one, I guess, to Tyler, the creator, but I noticed that you also sold a Rolls Royce to Jason Momoa. You also sold a Rolls Royce to Justin Bieber. Who else was, Ben Affleck was interested in one. Like, do stars gravitate, and Hannah obviously, and Magnus have a couple. Do stars gravitate towards Rolls Royces?
I would say they gravitate to all cars. I think it just depends on the person. You know, it depends on who they are and what they've experienced in life, or you know what they've seen or what they've been growing up with. Like for example, Ben Affleck, he wanted this Rolls Royce Phantom we had because he had one before. So most celebrities make a very good living, so they're able to afford nicer stuff. So in that scenario, he had that Rolls Royce years ago, and now we had one, and he wanted to buy that same car, used obviously now. But if you talk about Justin Bieber, he saw that car and just was like, oh my God, I've got to have this car. This is like, it's like a piece of art. I've got to have it. So I don't think you can say, oh, celebrities just want Rolls Royces. I think you can say Rolls Royces are incredible, especially the older stuff. And they're not all expensive either. You can buy a Rolls Royce for $20,000 and have a great car to cruise around in. So it's not just about the price but it is a Rolls Royce. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, we have a 1925 Rolls Royce Silver Ghost now at the dealership. It's a piece of art.
Yeah,
I can't even believe we have one.
It's so gorgeous.
Huh?
It's fire engine red. I said, I love that. So a Springfield Silver Ghost, left-hand drive, $350,000. It looks beautiful.
I mean, it's a pinnacle car. The value remains long after the price is forgotten, Matt.
Correct. Oh, that's a good tagline, Hannah.
Correct.
It's the truth.
By the way, what's the rarest, or what are among the rarest cars you have, Alex, right now?
That we have a 1960 Mercedes 300 SL Roadster.
Ooh.
Had the same owner for over 50 years. Super original car.
But that's yours, right? Isn't that your car?
That's my car, and that's what I was about to. That's my next line. It was about to be.
But you would sell it for the right price.
No. I got offered the right price like literally a week ago, and I said no.
Nice.
Is that's not your daily? That can't be your daily.
No. I don't. I drive the car frequently, but I don't drive it every day. And I have that car at the dealership. So, and it's on display. So when you say to me what cars you have, it's there. And I welcome everybody to visit us. I always say that if you want to get into the classic car world, you don't need to buy a car from us. Come in and get inspired. Come and see the cars. Because there's so many options here, so many colors, so many different variations. We need the car culture to keep growing and creating new audiences. So I always say, if you have kids and they're young, bring them by. We want them to see the cars, learn about them, see what they are. And this Mercedes 300 SL Roadster we have is sitting there, so you can look at it. We had the same owner for 50 years, and the car's not perfect. The seats are torn up, but it's so cool to see. You won't be out. You just won't see them like that. The only person I know that has one like that is Jay Leno has a Gullwing that was like used to be raced and he drives around also. Mm-hmm. So come over, see the cars, look at them, see what you like.
I love that you say that, Alex, because a lot of times it's easy for us to see photos and videos of cars, and to sort of become obsessed. But until you sit in the car, until you're around it, until you sort of inhabit it as much as you can, you don't really know. And sometimes
smell it. Don't forget the smell. Don't forget the smell.
And smell it. And oftentimes there's a case of never meet your heroes, where you can become obsessed with how a car looks. And then when you get in one, you realize, oh no, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So I do love Beverly Hills Car Club because you guys are always so welcoming. And it's so good to just, if you've got kind of a car that you think you might like and you might want to see it or sit in it.
Or drive it. Can you
you
test drive them as well? I remember I wanted an M6 for so long. And when I finally drove one, it didn't. It didn't really pay out. So do you let people test drive these cars too?
So I'm going to answer. I got like multiple ways of answering this stuff here. When I was a kid and I didn't have any money, and I would go. I'm talking young. I mean, from 12 to whatever 20, and I would go to any classic car dealership or place. You didn't really feel so welcome.
Yes. Agreed.
You felt uncomfortable there.
Agreed.
There was like, who are you? Why aren't you? Do you have? I don't see your checkbook in your hand. You have a check made out to us. I'll let you know the amount. That's how the feeling was. We're not like that here. Come, check us out. Enjoy the experience. Sometimes we even have barbecues. Grab a hamburger. Enjoy what we have here. I started this with passion, with love, with, the chase of the next classic cars. And now we got 650 of them. Come and look at them and experience them. You asked me, do we let people test drive cars? If you want to buy a car, yes, we're going to let you test drive a car. Would we let you test drive a Ferrari? No. Even if you want to buy the car, you need to buy it. We're not going to have some 16-year-old kid come in here and want to test drive a Testarossa.
Of course.
It's like, if you're serious about buying a car, put a deposit down and let's go from there. But we welcome everybody to the dealership. And we're happy to help answer questions. And my mom works at the dealership with us every day. Okay. And she kicks ass. And if she walks around the dealership and someone isn't being helped or taken care of, we're going to all hear about it, because she wants to make sure as well that people are welcome here. You come through. Matt, I don't know have you been to Beverly Hills Car Club?
I have not, but I tell you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to come. Like, honestly, on my list of things to do, if the next time I do visit LA, it's going to be, I got to visit my brother, Luisito. I got to visit Hannah and Magnus, and Beverly Hills Car Club is my number 3 thing. Like, I can't wait.
True.
I'm going to spend the whole day there. I want to.
And the reason I wanted to know if you've been is because it's like you pull up, it's like an industrial area.
Very nondescript.
You're very nondescript, no flashy signs, you go through a small little door, you don't know what you're expecting. And then it's just like, it's my work of my whole life. So I hope you love it. It's what I'm trying to say. And I'd love you to check it out. I mean, Hannah, Hannah liked it. So.
Oh, yes. I want to hear more about Mom, because you mentioned she's on the floor. She seems like if she was in England in the 60s and 70s and 80s, potentially hanging out with musicians, she must be a very cool person. What is her car of choice? What is she like? What does she get into?
She has been twisting my arm for 15 years to give her a Porsche 356.
Come on. What's the holdup?
There's no holdup. So I think that's one of her favorite cars. I'll share with you guys a story. When we were growing up, our dream, her and I together, was to buy a Carmen Ghia. And at the time they were like 6,900, 6,700 was the going price. And we used to walk to the bus stop, and it was a long walk. And we used to have to go through this nice neighborhood. And on the way there was a man, and he was a doctor, that had a white Porsche 356. It was a coupe. So we would look in the classifieds together, and I would do all the looking, and then I would say, look, this car McGee, this one we should go look at it. What do you think? And we would see this Porsche, and we would walk by the Porsche, and it was just like, I was like the Messiah coming out of the desert. Okay, it wasn't real. It wasn't a real thing for us to actually to do anything other than admire. Okay. And now I probably sold, I don't know, 2,356 Porsche. So it just goes to show, that you kind of put your mind to something and it can happen.
I see 7 on the website
that.
right now.
Yeah.
Got to give mom one of those.
Well, it sounds like she has very good taste in cars.
Absolutely.
Dude, I can't. First of all, I can't thank you enough for joining us, because it's been such an amazing conversation, and I can't wait to come to your shop. I'm like cruising through your inventory. I've been doing it for the last 48 hours, basically. I see a 1975 Carrera sunroof coupe that I kind of want to check out. A 76 911S in like Viper green. There's just so much to choose from here. I don't know. If you said I could have any car on your lot, I don't know which one I would take, because I keep going back and forth.
You would have a meltdown. Your brain would melt down.
But it's awesome. By the way, do you have a daily driver? Is there a beater that you like, that you fall back on, or are you just always driving something new, something you picked up, something you're working on?
All of the above. I go the 300 SL I have is the one I drive the most frequently. But otherwise, I'll grab whatever we have that's cool, that's fun, and it's not about the price. It's about what it looks like or the experience. And I prefer a car that isn't perfect, because you can kind of let loose on it and enjoy it.
What if you have long-term employees, like a guy who's been there, or a woman who's been working for you for years? Can they be like, "Yo, Alex, I'm going to take home this Target tonight"? Is that cool?
We do have one person who drives a lot of the cars. He takes home a car almost every night.
In case anybody wants to get a job, that's a sweetener.
That's a sweetener.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on, dude. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, you guys are awesome. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love that, dude. This clearly is his main thing. Like it's his baby.
I know. You can see it in his face.
And I just love that. I mean, the story about his mother.
I know.
Walking to the bus stop, and she wants a Carmen Ghia, but there's something that's just impossible to imagine. That's like 10 steps above Carmen Ghia, and now they've sold 2,000 of them.
I know.
Wow.
I think it's cool.
That's amazing. Honestly, that's what we all want in life, is something like that.
I know. And the thing is, like, I love, it's so true about the fact that anyone can go in and walk around. No one's going to bother you or hassle you. They will help you if you need it. But it is really rare. And it's not fun to go to car dealerships. I haven't been in years. It's not fun, because you get hassled and it feels weird, and it's not like that. And it is really true that it's nice to just be around the cars in a very low pressure, low stakes environment, and be able to explore for yourself what speaks to you. I
also like that he doesn't sell the ridiculously unobtainable like supercars. You don't see the there's no GT3s there. There's none of the flipper cars that people who don't care about driving buy and sell on BAT all the time. Like,
no, that's not this. And I think we should say, of course, buying an old car, period, is a caveat emptor experience. You have to assume there will be things that go wrong. There probably already are things wrong with the car.
There will be blood.
There will be blood. That's just part of the experience. And, I think sometimes people say, the car doesn't have this, or I thought it was going to be good because it looks so pretty. And then you take it home and something happens. Well, of course, that's an old car. And I don't think, Beverly Hills and Alex are very, very upfront about, this car needs work, this car is a project, this car doesn't run. It's kind of, you get what you see and you get what you pay for.
so crazy. They have 5 Jensen Interceptors.
I mean, these are like, these are
a car that you just don't see.
There's some very ropey cars, but it's kind of like you're going to get what you see.
One of them looks amazing. They got a 1971 Interceptor in like navy blue for under 20 grand, and it looks beautiful. I mean, maybe it's a 5-foot car or a 10-foot car, but I mean, for 20 grand.
Well, I also think, and not to speak for Alex, but there's some you can make an offer.
There's some
that's the beauty
wiggle
of,
room.
Of course. Why not a trade? Why not a trade for something else? This is used car dealing. You always should make an offer.
Wow.
I don't think you should ever pay what they ask.
I wonder if he'll take a couple of Ducati monsters in trade
get him into motorcycles
for this 308.
Sure.
I could go through the website all day. So that's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Guest. By the way, there's some kind of connection to the Real Housewives of something. Is that? Is he?
That's in
he's
the past.
Not on it, right? Is
he has been on it? Yes. He at one point was in a relationship with Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umensky's daughter, but
I don't know who those
they're
people
no
are,
longer together. But
I'm glad I didn't ask him about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure he would have been very diplomatic.
It's also it's very Beverly Hills. That's like,
of course. Well, this is this is a really small town. It's a really.
It
small
seems
town.
like it.
It really and Beverly Hills is like a village. I get the feeling everybody knows everybody in Bev Hills.
But to be clear, they are not in the Beverly Hills Car Club is not in Beverly Hills.
Oh, no. It's in a very industrial, down and out area. And it's very nondescript. You
they have
could
so
drive
many
past
997s. I thought earlier because I was searching for Porsches and I put 911 in the drop-down menu and I saw there's like 30 of those. But I thought, wow, it's weird that he doesn't have any 997s. But you actually get to pick 997 as a specific subcategory. They have 996, 993s, but you know that I love the 997. That's
your baby.
That's my choice.
Yeah, I get it.
That does it for this week's show. Remember to follow and subscribe to Hot Pursuit on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen. You can also send us your comments. Email us at hotpursuit@bloomberg.net.
And you can check out my columns and stories on Bloomberg.com and the Bloomberg Business app. Go there for car reviews, events, and stories that you won't find anywhere else. And you can also find Matt Miller's TV show every morning on Bloomberg TV. Find it all at Bloomberg.com/pursuits/autos. I'm Hannah Elliott.
And I'm Matt Miller. We'll be back in your podcast feed again next week.